What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to the Build Boldly game plan presented by Boldt. We're joined by Ben Runs from Boldt and Coach Corey Roberson of the Green Bay Blizzard with some awesomeness to talk about because now there's a red X next to our name in the standings. So, yeah.
Big time, man. Big time. Yeah, we were just talking. You were before we started the broadcast here. Everybody should know that I was complimenting Coach, and he's like, "Oh, we're just on the grind." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're on the grind, grinding up other teams and sending them packing." So that's what you've been doing.
Yeah, no, it's been a good ride so far. The guys are staying grounded and we stand focused on our one more philosophy and our, well, let me call it our mantra. And going from there, we're just keeping our blinders on.
It's been my experience that any team that dominates another team in indoor football, it really always starts up front in the offensive and defensive lines because, if you can't protect and you can't get pressure, you're not going to be able to force the other team into, a place of making bad plays and bad decisions. We talked about them a little bit last week, but can you talk a little bit more about those two groups?
Yeah, no, we still strive and continue to try to get better at that position up front. Like as you said, and for sure in your playing days, the game starts and stops up there, and that group right there is every bit of advertised, and they are the driving force behind the success that we're having. So kudos to them young men. And as I told others, they do they do their part. They are locked in, fully locked in all the way, and the defensive line and with the hurries and pressure that they put on quarterbacks and our offensive line with us being able to run and pass the ball.
Cool. Jacksonville moved the ball pretty well in the game, or at least from a yardage perspective. But just to have the scoreboard be completely dominated by your team, who's super efficient in terms of scoring possessions, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about where that efficiency is coming from on offense.
Paying attention to details. It's a detail focused. It's you got to be detail focused when you get in that red zone. The field condensed. You don't have a lot of real estate once you get into the red zone, especially the low red zone. 10 and in, 5 and in. That was almost like our sore thumb earlier in the year, and when the games were close, and now we're starting to capitalize on those things. So it's just really finishing. We focus on finishing. That's what we talk about all the time. But you got to pay attention to details. So when we have our red zone periods, it's high attention to details. It's the little things that count, and that's what we've been focusing on. Is those little things that help us, be able to put that ball in the end zone.
You got a upcoming kickoff on against Quad City in Moline at 7 o'clock on Saturday. What are you seeing from them right now, and what's it take for the Blizzard to continue rolling?
We're gonna continue to focus on us and get better at the things that we are struggling at. We are struggling at some things, and we're not gonna broadcast those things. We're gonna continue to keep those in house and work on those. But it's Quad City still they doing some great things. I want to they're in a playoff hunt as well. So it's us being us and them and capitalize on the things that they do. They got a decent football team over there as well. Of course, we won twice this year, but they do have a great football team, and it's making sure that they don't bring their greatness out against us.
Yeah, they really seem like they're in a spot similar to where we were last year or a couple of years ago, trying to find all the right things to sync it up, and right at about that 500 level, trying to take the next step into this thing, which means you could get a heck of a ball game from them. And how do you talk to your team about one play, one possession, just that same thing. But then how do you also help them, just embrace the idea of being that super dominant, force that people have to contend with, and they know that you're not going away until the final hour, right?
Yeah, no, we just it's the one more mantra. So whether that's one more play, one more second, one more, we where our feet is at, and that's just being 10 toes down and focus on the prize at hand and not worried about everything that's going on around us. So if it's that play, we'll never live the play that we just played again. That'd never come out, and these young men have really bought into that. Of course, we human, right? So we're gonna have that emotional swing or whatnot, but they have bought into the one more mantra. I was just telling, it came from earlier this year when the loss happened against Massachusetts. That one more mantra. It was, if we would have hit, and we may have talked about it on the show, one more tackle, one more stop, one more score, one more something. That's their word now. They owning it. And that's really what it come down to. And I'm not gonna shy away from it. I'm gonna keep it going and everything that we're talking about, because it's so easy to lose focus. You're talking about being dominant and all that stuff, and that we were just in a different position the past 2 years. And not in that position to talk about being dominant. So, we're not gonna shift our focus to say that we are dominant. We know who we are, we know what we have to do, and we're gonna continue to focus on us.
I love that. Yeah, it's funny, listening to you talk about this, I was reminded, I saw a quote from Roger Federer earlier in the week. Obviously, if not the best men's tennis player ever, one, two, or three. And he was talking about the mental game and how, you only have the point that you're on. And he asked the press that were at this event. He said, do you know what percentage of games I won, and or of matches I won, and he let it sit for a second. And then he said, I won 82% of my matches. He said, in those matches, does anybody have any idea what percentage of points I won? 54%. He won 54% of the points that he ever played.
Wow.
And he's one of the most dominant players in the history of the sport. And it's because he didn't let the last point influence the next point. He just said, once that's done, it's done, right? But he didn't get too upset about a double fault, because he's like, well, okay, that's 1 point. Now I got to just go win this point, right? So, right. You focus on that one more, and for him it was that point. It's like, but everything you're talking about, Coach, is the essence of what it takes to be great, not only in sport, but in life and in business, right? Because what happened yesterday might influence the future, but you can't do anything about it.
Right.
It doesn't, like it. You can't do anything about it. The only thing you can do something about is what you choose to do in this next moment. I love you saying you're where your feet are. So that's really good.
Appreciate it.
Well, Coach, I know Ryan we're gonna put the role of prognosticator, or at least the scenario guru out there. No, come on, Ryan.
Like, I had to
playoff spot.
I mean, yes, I know what needs to happen, but even there was a bunch of, it was thought we clinched before we clinched because the math is so wonky, but we did clinch. But yes, it is. Again, I told Corey before you signed on, not at the expense of one more, because as an organization, we are bought into that. But the reality is, it's a win in the next 3 games, and we have a home game. Win or mass loss are the 2 scenarios this weekend. But yeah, that home game, I mean, that information will be out there soon, but that round 1 of the IFL playoffs is July 26th weekend. We will take the Friday night on that opening.
Is the championship still played at one of the 2 competitor teams, or is there
it's off-site in Vegas and Henderson at the Dollar Loan Center. It was a 3-year deal by the IFL, which we are in the 3rd year in, so I don't know what's next. But this is the last year of the 3-year Vegas deal. So August 17th is the championship weekend in Vegas. So it goes round 1, July 26th, round 2, August 2nd. Week off for both the championship teams. Championship in Vegas, August 17th.
Boy, talk about trying to get your guys to keep their feet where they are. Imagining a week off and then a championship in Vegas, that would be your biggest challenge of the year, to keep everybody's feet where they are during that period of time. But it doesn't matter until you get there, right? So, you win these next 3 weeks, there's going to be no question who's got home field advantage through the playoffs, and from there you get a chance to go do the thing. So,
mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we are, because I have to. I was talking to Corey about that, like in one game at a time, but like we are logistically working on all that stuff. So we are ready for multiple scenarios. You got an email behind the scene, Ben's, because we need to know our corporate partners and season ticket holders need to know how that works. So yeah, exciting times, incredible football and football operations staff and young men that are playing ball for us right now. So it is it's definitely different in the best way possible this year.
Yeah. And for all us sponsors out there that might be watching this, it is important, right? Because as you advance, right, there are expenses that advance too. And, it's sort of, as a franchise, you benefit from it in so many ways. It's what you work for, but you also, are paying more payroll. You're paying, you're renting an arena again, all of those things. And so for those of us who, sign on and support, I think it's a very important thing to continue that support and really help make this such a great experience for Coach and the team and the organization going forward. So
you never get into business to lose money, but I will speak for everybody watching this thing and corporate partners, right? Like, the goal for a home playoff game is not to print money. The goal is to have 5,000 people in here and be a problem for the visiting team, right? So, like, I will tip my hat to the fact that there is some aggressive ticketing stuff coming. I got choked up earlier talking to somebody. I won't do it on the show. Corey and his staff and the Trinklers deserve to win. At the lack of sleep and pushing my staff, there will be people there July 26th, right? Like, we lost one game at home, and it was the first game of the year. Home field advantage is a real thing for our guys, and not having to sleep in a different town in an away game. We want everything headed to Vegas, headed through here. One more is 100% in my mind, but we want it all to come here until we have to board a plane for Vegas. So we'll do everything in our power to make sure it's ridiculous. And I would echo what you're saying. Corporate partners, there's some crazy stuff headed your way. I'm only through the alphabet and D's, so because I'm sending personal emails to everybody. So please take us up on the playoff offers. Great conversations, some insane excitement. And Corey, we don't have a lot of in-person time lately because you are doing an incredible thing, and I'm trying to keep supporting that. Like, you are doing an amazing job, man. And we are so excited to help make July 26th ridiculous once you clinch it. So
appreciate that. No, it's a team effort, man. It's a team effort. Everyone doing their part. So that's always good.
Yep. So Blizzard Nation, you heard it here. Ben says be at that game or you don't belong in Green Bay, Wisconsin anymore. Just saying. So So away game, Quad City 7:05. Be sure to watch, and then watch like a hawk when we win, because we are going to hit the ground running with some crazy stuff. But huge game, as are they all. And again, shout out to both you guys for always taking times. This is, I think I've said it 93 times. One of my favorite things we do is this, because I get to learn a little bit about football and talk to two great leaders in our community. So
thanks, Ryan. Love what you're doing, Coach, and best wishes on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate you.
Cool. Go Blizz.
Go Blizz.
Blizz.